salvation. Help me love for everyone, all over the nation. Aid from Allah, the Father of the universe, and for Moorish Americans and Muslims which are us. ISLAM. Islam, Muslims, Islam. Just saying the word means peace to me. Islam, Muslims, Islam. Who lifted fallen humanity. Noble Jew Ali, who opened our eyes and minds to see the reason for unity. The Moorish Science Temple of America is where we learn the truth. Brothers and sisters should all attend. Be sure to bring the youth. ISLAM. Islam, Muslim, Islam. Just saying the word means peace to me. Islam, Muslim, Islam. Islam, Moorish American. Islam. Islam. Praise Allah. Honor to the Prophet. Who do we have on Zoom, Brother Jordan?
We have Brother Coleman Ill, Brother Esulemu Bay.
All right.
We have Brother Kid Bay, Sister Seals Ill.
All right. Why don't the Moors unmute yourself if you're in a quiet place? Brother Coleman Ill, Islam Moor. J. Coleman Ill. Y'all gotta be quick on the mute button. Brother Salamu Bay.
Islam, Grand Sheikh.
Islam.
Islam, Grand Sheikh, Islam.
Islam, Brother Coleman Ill, Islam.
You kind of slow on the button, Mo. You gotta be careful. These little babies now, they got the tablet in their hand right out the crib, Mo. They gonna be got 10 years come. You're gonna be asking your babies how to do something. Brother Coleman Ill.
That's right. Islam.
We're gonna talk about giving praises and honors, right? Did you ever?
Yes, sir.
Did you ever give praise and honor before you joined the temple?
I believe we used to get praise. We used to say, I rise to give praise to Allah, honor to the Prophet, honor to everything pertaining to Islam.
I'm saying before you came into the temple.
I believe so. I remember you used to do that a while back.
All right. So we start off with
2014, 2016.
All right, praise Allah.
Islam.
Honor to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Islam,
Praise Allah.
Praise Allah.
Give honor to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali.
I got you. Islam, Islam, obey.
Islam, Muslim.
Islam, how are you today?
All is well, peace and love.
So we give praises to Allah. We give honor to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. We give honor to Marcus Garvey. Who's the first Supreme Grand Advisor and moderator we give honor to?
The first Supreme Grand Advisor and moderator, Brother C. Kirkman Bay, Brother Colonel Kirkman Bay.
And what year was he the Supreme Grand Advisor and moderator, Brother Jordan? From what year to what year?
19.
We give praise and honor together, and I'll clear your mind. Islam Moors in the temple. Why don't y'all stand up for a second? Together. I know Brother Turner Bay already get it. Brother Ani Bay, Islam. You ready, Moor? All right. We rise and give praise to Allah.
Allah.
The Father of the universe.
Father of the universe.
We give honor to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali.
We give honor to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali.
The founder of the Moorish Science of America.
The founder of the Moorish Science Temple of America.
We give honor to Brother Marcus Garvey.
We give honor to Brother Marcus Garvey.
We give honor to Brother C. Kirkman Bay.
We give honor to Brother C. Kirkman Bay.
We give honor to Brother F. Nelson Bay.
We give honor to Brother F. Nelson Bay.
We give honor to Brother J. Blakely Bay.
Honor to Brother J. Blakely Bay.
We give honor to Brother R. Lovell.
We give honor to Brother R. Lovell.
We give honor to the Grand Sheikh and MSC of A, Brother R. Jones Bay.
We give honor to the Grand Sheikh and MSC of A, Brother R. Jones Bay.
We give honor to all national, state, and local officials.
We give honor to all national, state, and local officials.
We give honor to the Grand Governor of the State of New York.
We give honor to the Grand Governor of the State of New York.
All right, everyone freeze. Don't move. Don't move. Don't move. I just want you to observe. Don't move. This brother's got his hands like this. Brother got his symbol. You got your hands like that. this brother got his hands in his pocket, and this brother got his hands standing straight up. Right? Because in the temple, it's always about teaching moments, right? We're here because this is what practice, right? We practice so when we're on the court, right? The brother practiced so when he got to go to the UN, he's straight. He's been practicing his jump shot. He's got his crossover. So when he gets to the UN, he ain't about practice. It's smooth because he's been practicing. He ain't got to think about it, right? So we come in, we think about what the prophet told us, clearness and power, standing on our square. When we give him praise and honor, is that something that, like in the military, you had attention, like brother in the back? Then sometimes you had ease, you know what I'm saying? There's different body languages. Hands like that, hands in the pocket, all body language, right? If you went into an interview, and you went to an interview, the person's not listening to what you're saying and watching how you're reacting, what you're doing. I'm not talking about Wendy's or McDonald's or something like that. I'm talking about you going for some kind of job or something, you're doing something. Let's say you're a politician, you're in a debate, right? You notice how they stand, you're doing an interview with CNN or something. Where do you put your hands? How do you sit? Something simple as that. The brother got a suit on. If you just sit in a chair, then your suit pushes up in the back and it sticks up in the back. So anyone knows you're supposed to take the suit and flip it underneath you and sit down with it like that. So it's nice and tight. You see what I'm saying? You know, if you're in the Navy, you want to flip that quarter on that bed. You want it to be nice and tight. All right? So this is all learning. We all practicing. I'm practicing. You know, Steph Curry doesn't stop practicing because I got it down. Michael Jordan didn't stop practicing. He probably still practices. Some of them famous guys probably still get up their own court in their own backyard, still throwing down and willing to take their grandsons to the hoop. You know what I mean? So we practice it. Practice makes perfect. No one's perfect. Yes, we are. We're trying to become perfected. We can't be perfect because we made some mistakes. Perfect is not making mistakes, not having no flaws. Perfected is taking the mistakes and the flaws and asking Allah to help you heal them. Like the brother was reading in the chapter. You know, washing away those sins. Get yourself back to that pure state. So we give honor to everything pertaining to Islam. Praise Allah. Thank you so much. All right? Praise Allah. All right? I read some time. Thank you, brother. Brother I Lord you. I Lord you. I Lord you. Brother talked to me today. I think he said his name was Brother Eel Day. Eel. I see more as Bay Eel Day. Bay Ali Day. You know, whatever they want to do. But today, what I want to mention, I mentioned this before, right, is that read carefully the doctrine of the Moorish Science Temple America. It contains our hopes, rules, and articles of religion. Every member should have a copy. Sister Secretary, if you could put the back of the questionnaire up on the screen, the back of the questionnaire. Again, read carefully the doctrines, the teachings. You know, we got stuff the prophet wrote, something that we read all the time, right? Read carefully the doctrine. How many meetings do you think you ever been in, brother Peter's here? How many meetings do you think? Let's say there's 100 meetings in a year, right? 2 every week. Let's say 100 meetings in a year. And how many years you've been coming? Rough estimate, how many years? Let's say 6 years. Take 6 years, right? Let's say you're 80% attendance record. Pretty good, right? That's 80 a year, right? 80 times 6. 8, right? 8 times 6. Remember, you have to do the math table. 8 times 6 is what? I know you told Brandon. 8 times 6, 8 times 6, 8 times 6, Jane. 8 times 6, 8 times 6,
40,
48.
48. Oh, wow.
Stop it.
Quote me on the
Come
spot.
on, put you on the spot. You gotta be quick with that, right? 480 meetings. I could ask you anything in the Divine Constitution of my life after 480 meetings, listening to it. You would think so, right? If that sister gave you her phone number 848 times, right? 480 times, you gonna know it?
Yeah.
You probably knew it after that first day. You walked out of there. I ain't gonna forget that number. Right? So when I think about back in the questionnaire, right? We all know what it says on the back of the question. I'll put Brother Jordan, on the spot. Come on. You know what? I'm gonna give you a break. You got break. Turn the bay. He's not under the screen. Let's turn the bay. It's on. Come on. Without looking. Come off top of your head. Back of the question. Come on. Just work with me. It's something I'm talking about. And we're supposed to do something. Like we have the power and authority from the great Koran of Muhammad, right? The Moorish Science the power and authority from the great Koran of Muhammad. We're supposed to.
I know some things on there. Consecrate and appoint missionaries
of the prophet.
That's right.
Thank you. That's what I'm looking for. Because I've been talking about these different levels of membership, right? We got our new member. He's not a missionary of the prophet. He's a new member. He's not appointed. He ain't none. He ain't even got a nationality card. His driver's license don't even say Bay or Eel on it. So you know what I'm saying? There's different levels here, Mo. I'm talking about pull out the credit card, the union card, the passport, Faison, Eel or Bay on your name. Official. Turn the Bay, step up in there. The UN. Oh, excuse me, sir. We want to put your name on the tag in front of you so people know who you are. Please give us some ID. We could put your ID name on there. Then put Big Daddy K up on there, okay? All right, he said, my name is Corey Turner Bay. And he gives them the ID, but there's no Bay on it. Sir, we can only put what's on the ID. Then all Moors is looking, and they call him up. But Turner Bay, how come they messed up your name, Moore? There was no hyphen Bay on it. Well, Moore, I told them, and they put the pen in my hand, I write it. Okay. How about this one? You're gonna make a reservation, an airplane ticket. Right? Now when you get to the airport, they're gonna be looking at that passport and that ID, and it better match that name. There was just something on YouTube, I don't know, it's all YouHo News or something, where a man made a reservation for his wife. His wife's name is Catherine.
Mm-hmm.
He made it in Katie or Kate, whatever she go by.
Right.
Kate, same last name, everything, right? They're like, nah, we're looking for Catherine. Oh, well, you need a new reservation because this says Kate, and we look at Catherine. Right?
Right.
You ever try to go cash a check, and that ID don't match what's on that check? You see what I'm saying? So you want to be official, and you're not gonna be that as a new member. You just finding out. But now you've been in the temple a year, right? Now you've been in the temple 2 years. And one day the Grand Sheik said, yeah, Brother Peter's here, show me your ID so we can show all more that Peter's Bay. With the picture with your fez on it. What? 5 years, 6 years. 8 years. He tell you from the first day you join the temple, right, Brother Jordan Eel? Right. You are no longer Brother Jordan Eel. No matter what they say, that's your name, and you make sure you get all your paperwork and everything in order. Now, you could take it any way you want to do it in order. You're a citizen. You could take it the long, drawn-out way, right? There's actually, if you go to the post office to get a passport, there's a spot in their application where it says, if somebody will send in an affidavit, that if I get this brother to send an affidavit, that he's known me as Brother Clendenberg for 2 years, and he's willing to sign that, I could use that. And I get 2 people to verify that for 2 years or more, they know me as that name, they will accept that as part of their process. Right? I met an older Moor down in Richmond, Virginia. If you look on the lithograph, they had a temple in Petersburg and a temple in Richmond. See how good the Moors are. Where's about Serrano Bay? You say you're not Serrano Bay, not Serrano Bay? On YouTube, Facebook, the more. Who can tell me on Facebook or on the temple, which is the temple number for Richmond or Petersburg in Virginia?
That home temple.
Temple number. Richmond or Petersburg, both in Virginia.
Is that home temple number one?
That's Chicago, Mo.
What's the Moorish?
Morris National Home number one. Yes, it's in
Yeah.
Prince George County.
Okay.
I'm going back from the temple. I'm looking at the lithograph, the original. There's no temple there now, but I know you talk about Morris Home number one.
Right.
That's a piece of property we got where we have a temple there, but that's
Okay.
not like a temple number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right? Right here. Temple number 6, Richmond, Virginia. Richmond is the capital of Virginia. All right? One day, Sister Jefferson Neal's mother was down at the Capitol looking at something. They had tax rolls or something down there. People that were delinquent. Because when people are delinquent with their taxes on properties, investors come and try to pay their property tax and take their property. So they put out these listings. And the sister's mother, not even a member, the sister's grand governor of New York at one point, her mother saw that the Moorish Science Temple of America was delinquent in taxes on that property there. Just giving you a story about back in the day. So she told her daughter. Her daughter got in contact with the grand governor. They didn't have enough money. She got together with the temples in New York, Temple 21, Temple 34, it's called 54 at the time, Temple 69. The Moors put together whatever their money they could get together, and she drove down there and gave them the money, and they went and paid the taxes. There's a little piece of history. All right? Temple number 6, Richmond, and then you have temple number 14. Remember, these are numerical order. Temple 1 was first, 2, 3, again. So then down the road, they was already in Richmond. And if you ever drive down 95, south of Richmond is an area called Petersburg. A lot of Asiatics there, closer to the Moorish home of Prince George. Petersburg is temple number 14. So I met an older brother down there. He's telling me that back in the day, the Moors had a lawyer's office connected with the temple. Like they had these lawyers on retainer. Then when someone would come join, they would tell you to go see the lawyer. And the lawyer will welcome you to the Moorish family because he's doing business with you. Right. And take your paperwork and go down to the court and do whatever he had to do to get the bail on your name. That process only took you a little bit of time and a little bit of money. But whatever way, you can't tell me 5, 6, 7, 10 years later, you have nothing changed on your documents, no picture ID with a fez on. And remember, when you go to take the picture with your fez on, remember, whenever someone asks you about your fez, I'm wearing it for religious purpose. That's it. Not about no Moorish American, my right, Moors. Telling you. Someone questions you, you say I'm wearing it for religious purposes, just like the Jewish person's wearing a yarmulke or the kufi, or the Sikh brother's wearing his turban. They are not wearing it because they are from India or from China or from Israel. They're wearing it for religious purposes. You say something other than that, temple can't back you up. We know it has other meanings besides religious purposes, but in order for you to facilitate certain guidelines, that's what you are doing it for. All right? And if you get specific, again, going back to that passport application, if you're ever interested to look it up, when you say you're using something for religious purpose, they will ask, do you wear this at least 2 hours or more a day? Or to something to that effect, a week or something. They have some kind of clause in there. You know, like, you know, I wear it once every year on the prophet's birthday. You know, now you want to put it on, you know? They talk about, if I'm going to show you this ID, this is how people see you sometimes. You know what I'm saying? In official capacity. All right? It's not required. The Bay of Eel is, if I'm the Grand Sheik, I like to see that Bay of Eel. If you can't handle the religious part, I mean, that's between you and Allah. But it's something that most Moors have that I see, right? But not to have a Bay of Eel on your name. If you want to go from what? New member, right? To good member, right? I'm thinking a good member, Brother Lordio. Maybe at the period of time, a good member would have it, right? And then a faithful member, if you're good over a long period of time and you're a faithful member, then I'm definitely thinking that you made certain strides, you at least talk to your grand sheik, your governor, your sheiks on what I need to do, or if you need help with finance or whatever. We talked about common law, we talked about other laws, we talked about different ways you could do it, right? Right? And then you go to the next level where you're faithful, and all that should be in order. You're faithful, and I say, well, what about this? What about this? You're faithful. But now what I'm talking about is going to that next level. Now you're a missionary. Now you're not just here in the temple talking about it and learning about it and giving your portions of understanding what the more's about it. Now we want to say, this more, we're going to appoint him. We're going to anoint him. And we're going to consecrate him to carry out the mission of the prophet. Not just speaking in Koran class. That means going to the UN. It means going to your congressman. That means going to a rally. That means going to a speaking engagement. That means when people want to know about our mission, right? Our mission, going back, that because now this person has read the articles of religion, right? He's read our aims. He's read all these different things. He knows these different things, right? He can get down and break down the mission. Islam. Islam, how you doing? Welcome to the Moorish Science of America. And your name is, sir? Oh, that's pretty fast. I'm an old guy. I need an extra stuff. L.A. Aaron Mealy Bay. L.A. Aaron Mealy Bay. Yeah. All right. Praise Allah. So we're talking about the prophet. We're talking about the missionaries of the prophet. Now we're talking about the mission. Right? So Act 6. Tell me something about Act 6. For the Peter's era. Act 6, Divine Constitution and Bylaw. Act 6. Something about Act 6. All right, let Brother Turner start. I mean, you add with it. Okay. Act 6.
Act 6. All members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and divine creed, that they know that they are not, that they are part and partial to say government, and know that they are not Negro, black folks. Negro, black folks,
Right? It's a new era, right? Right? You must be recognized by the nation in which you live, right? And the nation of the world, right? And what does he say at the end? The Moorish Americans are what? The descendants
of the ancient.
Okay. All right. Come on over. Come on down. You're on the Price is Right. Come on down. All right. Because he mentioned geography, right?
Islam.
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 Islam, lady.
Islam, Grand Sheik. I wake my turn more.
All right. We're talking about Africa more.
Act 6. Excuse me, more.
You familiar with Africa?
I'm with you with Act 6 more.
My daughter just went to Africa. She went to Kenya. She got a boo in Nairobi. I guess I'm not supposed to give that information up. Brother from Kenya.
Uh-huh.
Guess
okay.
Caught my daughter. Imagine that. Imagine Sister Michaela saying, "I'm going to Africa, Daddy." You know what I'm saying? Anyway, she went to Africa. Right? She didn't go to Asia. She didn't go to North America. She went to this country called Kenya. Nairobi. We all familiar where Africa is, right? Because more than have you thinking Africa is in South America there. I'm just saying. So when the prophet said Africa, right? He said northwest and southwestern shores. Now he's describing what part, right? Because to me, is this Africa? So Peter's here? This is a map of the world.
That's the map of the world. That is the continent.
You trying to qualify? Is it Africa? Okay. I'm not said Africa. What we call? It was called many names. Kemet, Amexum is the first true and divine name, right? All right. It says the shore, right? We all on the same page. The shores are water, right? Right. We go down to the shores, right? The shores. So northwestern and southwestern shores. Northwestern, right? North, south, east, west. northwestern, southwestern shores. The Moabites. He's talking to us, right? We're reading every meeting, right? Acts 6. The Moorish Americans are descendant of the ancient Moabite. Now we can talk about where else the Moabites have went, but we are specifically descendant of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwestern, southwestern shores. I just want to make sure I'm good with that. You good with that? All right. Now, how did we get there? Right? Thank you so much. So last week we was talking about birthrights, right? Birthrights, right? So now the Moabites is from the ancient land of Moab, right? All right, so I'm from Moab, right? So now, when the story starts in the bottom of page 3,
Islam.
Brother Knight, I forgot. Go ahead. Unmute yourself on that. There you go.
Am I mute?
Yeah, we hear you now.
Oh, you finished with Act 6, Sheik?
Now, if you got more on Act 6, go ahead.
Act 6, it says, okay, I wanted to get to the sentence. It was talking about the time of the slaveholders in 1779 and lasted
Okay.
until 1885 during the
65?
time of slavery. But this is
Yes.
a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Drew Ali, the prophet, to redeem his people from their sinful ways. According to Acts 6, when you're talking about being a Moorish American, how did you know you was a Moorish American? You have to identify that you have a prophet by the name of Noble Drew Ali, and that he was ordained to get us back into recognizing who we were before 1779. And then the religious authority that's on the back of the Quran questionnaire, it'll make it even more plain and more clear. You just have to take the time and read it, because there's a whole lot of questions that can be brought your way, but when you tell them you're a member of the Moor Science Temple of America and the founder is Noble Drew Ali, then that's where their questions lie, because he left enough information that if you haven't run across it yet or don't know how to communicate it, you can deliver the message that the doors to the temples that he have established are open. And you can come in and learn about your birthright, your nationality, and divine creed. But now if you want to take conversation into a whole lot of other foolishness, then that's where you go. And with that, I say peace, more.
Peace.
Islam.
So let's leave the foolishness, because there's a lot of foolishness out there, like the brother said.
You have a hand up by Brother Eslam Obey.
Brother Eslam Obey, Islam on.
Islam, Muslim. Peace and love, peace and love. You know, the Grand Chief, Islam, when you brought up that point in that demonstration regarding Act 6, and when I really was analyzing Act 6, and you know, the prophet states every word I speak is spirit, so you more so better hear, right? So when the prophet is stating that we inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa, that in and of itself just means that was a place where we were at one particular point. You know what I mean? Because, you know, right now I inhabit, you know, Georgia, inhabit, but that's not necessarily where I'm from. You know, so the prophet all I wanted to add on was the prophet is, the thoughts of Allah cannot be circumscribed, you know that. But, you know, a prophet is a thought of Allah. So, you know, I definitely, it opened my mind, you know, when I looked at that particular act, it opened my mind to not strive to limit, you know what I mean, what could be and what I'm looking into, what we need to look into as Moorish Americans. Peace.
Hey, praise Allah. We're just getting right to the next the next point I was making. So that's where the Moors was at a certain point, like the brother was saying. So let's go a little bit further back and pick up what the prophet's talking about at a certain point. All right, let's go to the bottom of page 3. All right, it says at the bottom of page 3, the industrious acts of the Muslims of Northwest and Southwest Africa, right? These are the Moabites, Hamathites, Canaanites. So now listen, you see right there, it's not just the Moabites, right? The Moabites, the Hamathites, and Canaanites who were driven out of the land of Canaan by Joshua. Land of Canaan, time out. Where's the land of Canaan? Brother Peter's here.
Is it in Saudi, when the area of Saudi Arabia?
Saudi Arabia, okay, let's see. Saudi Arabia is over here. Put a little dot there. That's Saudi Arabia, right? We're gonna start with that, okay? Right? Who else? Canaan. Chapter the brother read today. Go ahead. Huh? Mecca, Saudi Arabia, Canaan, right? Joshua. Think about it. Joshua. What do you think as soon as he mentioned Joshua, right? I don't know. I started having all these stories in my mind. I started thinking about Moses now. Right? It's talking about Joshua, right? Driven out of the land of Canaan by Joshua. Driven out, Joshua, Jericho, Joshua, the promised land, Joshua. Moses couldn't go in. Joshua was going in. The promised land, promised to Abraham, his descendants, Joshua. Let's go to chapter 4. You got a Koran, brother? LA, can I call you LA? I don't want to mess with you and you get in trouble with you right away. Yeah. All right, I remember LA, you know. That's where the old man LeBron James is playing. All right, so here we are in chapter 4, right? Remember? Now look at the story down here. Of course, because we're paying attention, instruction or verse or number 26. Matheno said, "'Tis well," and they went down to the Jordan ford, right? The Jordan ford, right? Since the secretary look up the word ford for us. The Jordan ford, unless someone knows what a ford is. He has different parts of a river, right? Different parts of a river. This is the Jordan ford, all right? You can learn a lot just reading these instructions. And east of Jericho, right? Wasn't I just telling you about the war with Jericho? Just where the host of Israel crossed when they entered Canaan. They tarried for a time. We're getting a geographical reference and a time reference because it didn't happen at different parts. When was this happening? Moses, Joshua, Jericho, right? We could do archaeologists and find out some kind of time frame, right? So, chapter 4. Right? Chapter 26. I think I just read it, right? So I look up here, and we got Jordan up here, right? So I'm going to put a land. And remember that Jordan is where Moab is. So it's on the northern part of Saudi Arabia. So if you want to consider, we know all of this is Mecca on this northern part here. All right, over there we got the Jordan and Syria, Iraq, and over there in Israel. All right, over there is Jerusalem and you got Jericho. Now, why am I going over all of this? Because if you're a missionary to prophet and you've been anointed and consecrated, right, and appointed to say what the prophet said, not what someone said on the internet, not something good, something on YouTube, something you heard in the barbershop. You start mixing all together and it sounds good, and then you're using the prophet. Say what the prophet said. And all that other stuff, I read it too. But I'm responsible. See, when you're just a new member, you don't have no responsibility like that. You just come to the meeting. When you're trying to work up to become a faithful member, you're still not a faithful member. You're not a sheep yet. So you don't have, you can get up a Koran class and the whole world was one, brother Condemning Bay. Yeah, let me show you. I know stuff. You see? This whole world was one more called Pangea. So see this whole thing. This whole thing. See, that's all. That's all Africa. That's all together. So, okay, more. So where's the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa? Oh, well, using your paradigm. All the world together, right? You can see it. It's like a puzzle. Yeah, I understand. It's a puzzle. This fits in here. This fits in here. And this fits up in here. Yeah, I got you. I'm with you more. Right? So you can't change direction, right? You got north. You got east. You got south. You got west, right? Can't change the prophet's words either, right? So now you're going to tell me that this isn't Africa the prophets talk about. You're telling me the whole thing is Africa, right? Or you're going to tell me, oh, this is northwestern and southwestern Africa. So where's the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa? I'm just asking you, because this is where the Moorish Americans are descended from. Are they descended from here, over here, or are they descended from over here? See, I can see where the prophet said they came from here. They got permission from the brothers and sisters in Egypt to settle in this portion. And the prophet said they set up kingdoms in Morocco, Tunis, Tripoli. The prophet says it, not me. I'm following what the prophet said. He said in later years, the inhabitation. I need another marker. Give me that red marker back there. Later years, Brother Peter's here. You want to get a red marker from that board over there? All right. So this is how the missionary going to just say what the prophet says. Well, I'm gonna point it out first, like one story. Page 3. They talk about Joshua. They talk about the battle. They talk about Jericho. They talk about Canaan. Right? Page 40, chapter 47, picks up the story, right? They got permission from the pharaohs of Egypt. Who were the Egyptians? They were the capital empire of the dominion. We talk about inhabitation, dominion as you ruling it. So the Egyptians ruled. They didn't say they were the only empire in Africa. They said they were the capital empire. Okay, because we all know from history, there's other empires that was in Africa. Africa is one of the largest continents there is. So they had control of this area. Tell the Moors, okay, come over here. Chapter 47. Right? They lived there for a while. Take time, right? They just finished warring with Joshua. They're looking for a new home. And they stayed there and they built themselves kingdoms. Morocco, Tunis, Tripoli, etc., right? In later years, they got bigger, they expanded, their habitation extended. Chapter 47. They're here, right? They're here, extended northeast. You know what the prophet said? They had wars with the pharaohs. I just gave you a permission to settle here. It's my empire. Now, years later, you coming over to where I am. And you're going further south. I didn't tell you you can go south. They extended to northeast and southwest Africa. Read it, chapter 47. These are all different periods of time. This didn't happen in 10 years, 100 years. It could have been thousands of years. Why would you inhabit and everything? If you set up kingdoms here, you have to have a lot of people. You just set up, I just set up a kingdom. Now I'm over here. There must be a lot of people. It must be periods of time. You don't just, I set up a kingdom. Now I said, like, where's all these people coming from? They talk about you had to have generations and more people, right? Then in later years, there used to be a continent here. Remember Atlantis? So now they travel across the Atlantis, again, chapter 47, into the Caribbean islands, Atlantis Island, North, South, and Central America. This is all over different epochs in history. All right? So I'm just pointing this out because when we teach on the hedges and highways, when you get to the point when you're a missionary of the prophet, when you're working for Ford Motor Company with the Ford Motor product, you're not going up there and talking about Toyota and what this, like And you're working for Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Otherwise, you shouldn't be consecrated as a missionary or appointed. You can think what you want and you can do what you want. You have freedom under the principle of freedom. Go ahead. But you're just not going to stand behind this podium with this charter behind you and this sign and everything and issue nationality cards and go to speaking engagements and say you represent the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Brother Jordan.
Islam. I just wanted to bring to your attention, Brother Cyrus still has his hand up for a while.
Great. Brother Cyrus here. Islam Grand Sheikh.
Islam Grand Sheikh. Praise Allah, honor to the Prophet, honor to the Moors. I had a quick question, well, a statement. We're talking about Canaan. The Prophet told us to watch the newspapers and listen to the radio. And right now, one of the parts in Canaan, there is we're talking about Joshua and the wars. There's a real serious situation going on in the bottom of Canaan, the state of Yemen. And additionally, so we can touch on that, what's the relevance of that? And additionally, there is currently, for the last week, arguably what I would call the trial of the millennium. And it's happening. I'm going to see if the Moors are aware of what's going on this past few days in the trial of the millennium. Peace.
Could you say that?
The trial of the millennium.
Trial of the millennium. Millennium meaning 1,000 years.
Are the Moors aware of what's going on in this trial? One of the biggest I can't even think of on record that I've seen a trial as large as this that's actually happening. It's actually, to be specific, South Africa versus the state of Israel. Are we seeing this?
Yes.
Islam. Well, praise Allah. Hopefully, like the Grand Sheikh said, Prophet said, watch the news and the newspapers, etc. He's talking about the conflict that's going on. I mean, we know it's the end of time and the fulfilling of prophecies, right? We know for some, the Holy War never ended, right? That Holy War never ended. You think some of the Germans after World War II, you think all of them like, we're gonna forget about what happened. We're gonna move on. We're not gonna try to regroup. You think some people in Japan are still thinking, man, if we would have won, you think about Pearl Harbor. You don't think when they talk about Pearl Harbor and they bomb the United States of America, they might not talk about it in public, but when they're having that conversation, we should have took them out. Shouldn't have stopped. You think everybody in the world, everyone is not in the world trying to think a certain way. So the Grand Sheikh's talking about, so you got a conflict going on here. All right? And this is right here in Israel here. All right? And so you got the United States all up in here in different parts of these borders. You got I think he was talking about Yemen. You put on my glasses. This is what you hear in the news, right? So you got, first of all, you're always talking about Iran, right? Who could tell me this is Iran here? What's Iran, right? Iran is Persia. All right? Iraq. Babylonia. Right? You got to think about who they say nation, change names. Right? Saudi Arabia. All right? It was Arabia before it was Saudi Arabia. Yemen. See, this is Yemen down here. Right? The Gulf of Eden. The Arabian Sea. What do you got over here? There's Africa right here. Some of you didn't know. Hold on. Where's my phone? Any other hands up?
Brother Cyrus, I'm not sure if you re-raised your hand or didn't take your hand down.
Look at this.
Yeah, I forgot to take my hand down, actually. But I'm here.
How many United States military bases are there in Africa?
Probably over
Every continent.
but more than one.
Djibouti hosts the only U.S. base in Africa, Camp
Every country.
Lamania, home to more than 5,000 employed service members. How many military troops are in Africa? I don't know why it's not working. Check it out. Check it out. Brother Turnerback?
There's no, I don't think they can tell you precisely where the bases is, through
Right.
probably security reasons.
Right, right.
But you probably could check the, cause wherever there's a embassy, not too far is a base.
All right. The point I'm making is that the United States has military all in this area. And they have it all over Africa. Right? All over Europe. Right? Why are they fighting for Taiwan? Here, Taiwan. All right? You look over here. Korea, South Korea. Our allies, Japan. The United States of America is the largest empire in the world in 2024. We try to, why all of it? We're an empire, right? And the Europeans continue to try to retread the Roman Empire. That's their model. So we got to understand what's going on. It's an empire. We are part of an empire. We have a military industrial complex that's making billions and billions of dollars. So when something happens in Russia, right? And Russia over here, and then you have Ukraine and these areas over here and over here, it's all about making dollars and making money, right? Why? For all these years, our brothers and sisters in Cuba, who was the first nation to gain their independence in the Northern Hemisphere? Haiti. Who's caught the most slack ever since then? Haiti. They beat Napoleon, bro.
Physical brute force.
You're not gonna forget this. What about up here in Jamaica? We already talked about it. Over here, where's Jamaica? Cuba, Haiti, Jamaica. The Moors in Maroon Town fought the British and actually wrote treaties with them. They never gave up in the mountains of Jamaica. Read the history. You know what I'm saying? So we got to understand what's going on. All right, I'm going to go forward, but just let me repeat. All right? If you get to that level of membership where you're standing behind the podium in front of the charter in a public space, it could be a Black History something, and you're telling them they're not Black. It could be in the UN. It could be something important. It could be at a community gathering. It could be at with councilman's office. Say what the prophet said. You'll be good. There's so much of what the prophet said that you don't need to add that extra, like somehow it gives you some spice or something, like you need to put some hot sauce or barbecue sauce on what the prophet said. You don't need to. Stick with what the prophet says, you can't go wrong. You stick with the prophet said, and they say, who's your grand sheep? And who's your grand sheep? Who told you, who walked around and say that? I'm from Temple 34, Brother Condemned. Right? And they come to me. They said, did this brother did you tell him to tell the people? And he said, well, and that the European was the devil, and this was that, and this was that. No, I never told the brother to say that. That's not the teachings of the prophet. The prophet said that we don't speak radical against the church, the flag, or any organized group. So if he started talking about the Masons and the NAACP and all this other kind of stuff, if he started talking about the flag, and we're true American citizens. If he started talking about this republic in a negative way, what kind of a citizen would do that? What kind of true American? You see what I'm saying? It's so easy. You want to say what's popular. You want to say what the crowd is saying. You want to fit in. You see these people on Facebook and they're saying all of this, and you think they're popular, and you think whatever they're saying is a good story, and you haven't researched any of the stuff they said. You're just taking it and running with it. And then you're teaching other people it. And you'll be responsible for all that you do. So if you come before me and you say you want to be appointed and you want to be anointed, I'm going to ask you about the ancient Moabite. I'm going to ask you about your birthrights. I'm going to ask you about being an American citizen. I'm going to ask you about being a Muslim. I'm going to ask you about Ramadan. I'm going to ask you the different things, because if you aren't answering what the embassy of A is saying, it says right on the document that you are called to the views of the Moorish South America. So no longer your views or my views or his views or her views. You're now a company man. And you got to speak to those within the views, all the ministers. If you see something incorrect or whatever, you got to bring your thoughts. You got to bring your thing into it. You can't just go out there and say, yeah, that's what Brother Jones Bay saying, Brother Lovey saying about the Nennen Bay. They don't know what they're talking about. I'll tell you what they're talking about. I'm the real minister at Temple 34. You know, when you finish with Koran class, come on, I got this little group up there on Facebook. You know, we'll teach you, you know, after, because, you know, you're not really getting the right thing at the Koran class, Temple 34. But we can teach you, we got this meeting for this group and this Moors and the Aliyhites and the Elites and all these kind of people. You're like, oh, okay. Then it's fine, you can go represent them. You don't have to represent more South America. You can go do your thing. But don't take the prophet's teachings and misrepresent the prophet. That ain't right. We got enough people out there doing that. We got enough turmoil within the group to have people bringing in outside turmoil. I want to talk about, I got some flashcards for y'all if y'all don't know. Sister Drania, I didn't bring them in today. But she made up these 101 flashcards. We got the question on one side and the answer on the other side. So I'm gonna bring that in. I give him more, you know, opportunity, you know, to pick his own question. You know, because if I say just in the beginning, that's gonna be easy. He's going to turn Bay, he can step up. I used to tell Bill Richardson there, say time to let that light shine. Well, Turner Bay want to let his light shine a little bit. So we gotta see how the sheep does today. But Turner Bay, I have some questions for you, Moon. Come on, stand up in front so the Moors on TV on the Zoom can see you sweat. Come on. Ain't nothing wrong with sweat. We're in practice. Right? If you can miss 5 shots, and then the coach said, you know, turn your hand a little bit, and all of a sudden you make 5 shots, and you're good. And when you go out there, this brother is supposed to know 101. You're supposed to. Maybe no one told you that. You come into the temple, your goal is to know 101 of these questions and answers. That's the goal. No one told you, now you know. So any time over the year, I can go to Brother Turner and say, who were Adam and Eve?
They are the mothers of who are Adam and Eve. They are the mothers and fathers of the human family, Asiatics and Muslims.
What is meant by the word black?
Black, according to science, means death.
How many cells are there?
2.
Name them.
Higher self, lower self.
How old is the Moorish flag?
It is over 10,000 years old.
Which is a holy day.
Friday.
At what age did Jesus begin to teach?
12.
At the age of 12. Where did he teach?
India, Africa, and Europe.
Praise Allah. Come on up, Brother Peter's here. I see your hand up. You want to be next? I don't know what's going on, but you do my crystal, you my man. I used to know this brother used to come to Temple 21. He had all silver on one hand. I mean, every finger had silver. He had silver bracelets. I forgot which one. And all gold fingers and gold. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it made me think about him. Mr. Crystal, look, more as you want to know, he got the crystal up here. He's working all of this, right? Even his position, right? He's working the science because he knows he's a god. He's trying to figure out how to exercise himself as a god. Okay, who was Jesus?
Jesus was a prophet of Allah.
He was a prophet.
He was a prophet of Allah.
Where was he born?
In Bethlehem of Judah in the house of David.
What is our religion?
Islamism.
Who was Allah?
Allah is the father of the universe.
Can we see him?
No.
Where was Noble Drew born?
In the state of North Carolina, 1886.
What is your nationality?
Moorish American.
Tell me something about the nationality card behind you. Tell me something about it. Symbols, something written, something.
Hand press.
Okay.
Allah.
Okay.
And I think the crescent and star salvation.
All right. Praise Allah. Thank you. All right. Sister Seal Hill, you had your hand up? You want to come up?
It's fine, I did have my hand.
You done made my tassel come out.
Allah,
See how that sister did? She got a delay tactic. See how she did that, Brother Jordan? I don't even know how she did it.
Islam.
Islam.
If I can make a comment, just regarding.
Yes.
Arising in praise to Allah. give honor
Come
to
on
Allah.
up front, stop being shy.
Oh.
Mhm. Mhm. You can stand right here so the Moors can see you. You know? Come on. You got boots on and everything. I seen that snow coming too.
Yeah.
Islam.
Islam.
Islam Moors, if you all know, Assistant Grand Sheik, temple number 34, Brooklyn, New York. My daughter said Girl Power, Sister Power,
Islam.
Queen Power. Islam.
Goddess power.
Goddess Power.
That's right. All right. Islam. So
Islam.
first I rise and I give praise to Allah, I give honors to our prophet, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, and I give honors to everything that we all gave honors to in unison, and everything that Brother Turnabay gave honors to on the onset of the meeting. I was just gonna say, looking, I heard the question about Acts 6, so I didn't want to talk. I was in transit. But I thought that it was important because he was clearly separating the prophet when I say he.
Mhm.
What is expected, right? So with us, that clearly, they're clear line there, right? With us.
Mhm.
So there, people who were with us 2,000 years ago
Mhm.
are with us today.
Mhm.
And the people who were against us 2,000 years ago are against us today, right?
Mhm.
And so within that concept, it says, with us, all members must proclaim their nationality. And we are teaching our people. So this is going back into those who are with us, right? And those who have chosen to take that step is my understanding of this.
Mhm.
I said, and their divine creed, that they may know that they are part and parcel of this said government. And know that they are not Negroes. But so that came with a comma after first
Mhm.
proclaiming their nationality and teaching our people their nationality. So I think that a lot of the times when we have this conversation about nationality, you're not Black. Whoa, are they with us yet? How are you even going there yet?
Mhm.
Too soon. Ease up on the brake, on the gas, and step on the brakes a little bit. It's like you're heavy-footed when you're going forth with the truth, but that tends to happen when you're in a rush to get to your destination and you're in the vehicle. You might find yourself speeding, catching a couple red light tickets. You might even find yourself with law enforcement. If you don't have the right license and equipment and communicational tone, you could find yourself in a harder situation. And so that's what I was thinking about with Act 6, is that our prophet, that divine constitution and bylaws, it's the foundation. And a part of that foundation is understanding your lane. And so I thought that was very important. And just because someone may be a sheik or a divine minister, doesn't mean that, let's just say Minister Farrakhan came into the door. He may not be a sheik and divine minister in an organization, but based on the things that we've seen him do in society, we'd have to respect certain things.
Mhm.
So I think that when we look at one another, we shouldn't necessarily look just from title. Yes, you do need to respect the president as commander in chief. Yes, you do not burn an American flag.
Right.
But at the same time, there has to be a willingness to be able to hear and look for the Allah and all. So I appreciate you. And with
What
that,
you have to do, you have to come, you gotta like this. You gotta say, Brother Lewis Farrakhan. Yeah. As a member, you can't tell me the devil. You just can't say that. Not here.
not in the moral side, stuff
You
below
can't-
again.
You know how they talk about how the Europeans, the devil and Satan and stuff like that? They say he's anti-Semitic and different things. So there's certain statements,
That
right?
are in
You
line.
can't say you're the Asiatic black man no more.
Black according to science.
You can
needs
say you're
that.
Moorish American, you're Asiatic, but you're gonna have to make adjustments.
Yeah.
All right, and I wanted to add to what the sister was saying, and she's gonna have to get her cape, because I'm gonna make a quick exit into the storm to get back home.
Praise
All
Allah.
right, but she was talking about with us, and it just made me think about the end of time where it says we. We, who's the prophet talking about? The Moorish American. He says, we as a clean and pure nation descendants. He says, therefore, we are returning to church and Christianity. We. Again, at 8, while we, the Moorish Americans, are returning to Islam. All right? We talk about what we desire. We don't desire to marry amalgamate to the families of the Palestinian nation. We. So the us, the we, it's a group thing. All right? And so now, going back to Act 6 a little bit. So now, if you were back in the days of the prophet and you joined the temple and you're a Mexican American, right? According to Act 6, with us, all members must proclaim their nationality. So if the brothers in here, whatever his name is, Islam, what's your nationality? Mexican American? Great, have a seat. Islam, Moorish American, Moorish American, Moorish American. Oh, we got a Chinese brother joining. Islam, what's your Chinese American? Islam. Well, that's why you want to proclaim your nationality. Islam, Islam, Islam. All right, and it's just so and so. You have below here from Brazil, a Brazilian American. You ever seen a Cuban American nationality card? All right, Arabians. The prophet said Arabians, Turks had joined the temple, because remember, it's a national and a divine movement. All right, remember the story I told you of? I'll get right to you, Brother Jordan. The story of Naomi, right, and Ruth. Naomi is an Israelite. Her son passed, Ruth's husband. Ruth wasn't an Israelite, she's a Moabite. When she left that land, went with her mother-in-law back to Israel. And then married Boaz, an Israelite. And she's in the line of Jesus' grandmother. She got adopted into the tribe. Hagar. From what I heard, she was an Egyptian princess, serving in the role of a servant to Sarah and Abraham, and had a son named Ishmael, which is kind of confused whether him or Isaac with the whole sacrifice, because that was the first son. And then once Sarah in her late years had a baby, then she wanted to not have Hagar around, and Hagar and Ishmael out. And then the story of, I think, the well of Zamzam, that was in the desert and there was no water and it was thirsty, and Allah had water come up out the desert, right? So just, if you're going to get to that level, again, as a missionary, as appointed, as anointed, just as a faithful, good member, just say what the prophet said. We could have a conversation about what these brothers said here. The European came from this scientist, and this happened over here, and I made this, and then, and then Moab isn't really over here in Jordan. Moab is in the United States and Utah, and this is that, this is that. And the Atlantic Ocean is 1 billion years old, and that means the Moors is 1 billion years old. You go ahead and say that if you want. Just don't say it behind here. Okay, just don't say it when you're representing the organization. If you want to say that on the conference call and get into it, Brother Tahakabay, did I say his name? Give a shout out to Brother Tahakabay. I don't want to get on his list. He don't want me on his list either. Okay, but praise Allah, brother Tournament.
Islam, we got a hand up.
Who we got?
Big Coleman.
Yeah, that's
Brother
what I was
Coleman
gonna say.
here. Brother Coleman here, I have a question for you first, Mo. I have a question for you first, Mo.
Question, right? This is pertaining to chapter 48.
But I have a question for you first. Take it easy, Mo. You're trying to go right away. You're trying to control the narrative. I'm not letting you do that. I'm taking
Islam.
control. I'm in the driver's seat. I was expecting to see you on the prophet's birthday.
Oh yeah, I couldn't even.
You need to let me know what hospital you were in, or your child was in, or what emergency situation you was in. You got to let me know. You didn't call me to come pick you up. You didn't. I just knew I was gonna see you. So answer that question for me. Help me out.
Islam, actually, she didn't have the baby yet, but she's having them attractions and everything like that. So
All right, you get an A for that answer, Moore. Yeah, Moore. Right behind the sister's pregnant. I can't do nothing with that, Moore.
it's like the baby don't want to come out yet. Praise Allah,
Praise Allah. Go ahead with your question, Moore.
Oh, I want to go to chapter 48, right? And I want to go to instruction 7 and 8, right? It says, therefore, we are returning the church and Christianity back to the European nation as it was prepared by the forefathers for the earthly salvation, right? And then you go to 8, it says, while we, the Moorish Americans, are returning to Islam, which was founded by earthly and divine salvation. So I want to ask you a question about the earthly and the divine salvation. What's the difference like when you talk about that?
See, that's a beautiful question, Mo. Right? So where we mean salvation, right? To be saved. Right? That means you're in trouble. Right? On the rock of salvation. Isn't that front of the questionnaire? So the physical saving that the brother's talking about, right, is that you get saved from the cares of the world. You got on the rock of salvation. You got a nationality. You got constitutional rights. You're not a Negro no more. You're not a black man. You know what I'm saying? And then you learned all the things that are necessary for your divine salvation. He could have just brought us the earthly salvation. I tell him more, he could have just made more science Gnostics too. Right? Everything did everything the Sunni Muslims do would just be Moorish American. But he didn't do that. He didn't do that, Moors. You follow what your prophet did. You tell me one place, no disrespect, one place where the prophet Noble Drew Ali mentions the word Ramadan. One article, one place. The founder of the movement, Islam. You could say, well, holy laws of Mecca, right? You could say that, right? Tell me one Moorish God article where the Moors was fasting for Ramadan. One proclamation. Don't forget Ramadan's coming up. Something.
Islam.
Show me something. And I'm not against Ramadan. All I'm saying, Islam.
Islam, the fallen sons and daughters of the Asiatic nation of North America need to learn to love instead of hate and to know of their highest self or lower self. This is the uniting of the Holy Koran of Mecca for the teachings and instructions for all Moorish Americans, etc. Peace.
Peace. What kind of Adam was the prophet? Egyptian Adam. All right? Prophet Muhammad. Prophet Jesus.
Islam,
Prophet
he was an
Buddha.
Egyptian at that.
Prophet, that's what he said, more Egyptian Adam.
Yes.
Prophet Buddha.
Excuse me. I rise to give praise to Allah and I give honors to everything the chairman gave honor to. Excuse me, Morris.
No problem. We heard it out here. He said it out here. Maybe you didn't hear. He said Egyptian Adam. All right? Right? So this goes back to what I'm saying. We got to teach what the prophet taught, the way the prophet taught it. Brother Travis Bay ran sheep, temple number 21, used to say, as a missionary, he'd go down to Brooklyn. He lived right there in downtown Brooklyn. And when he would see the Muslims praying, he would go to them and tell them, don't you know that Prophet Noble Drew Ali came up so you can stand up and pray facing Allah. He gave us the Moorish American prayer. Now the thing is, we are to teach and promote the teachings and the practices of all the prophets. So don't get us wrong. Yes, whatever the Prophet Muhammad taught, whatever he practiced, we teach that. Whatever Jesus said and Jesus practiced, we promote that. Whatever Muhammad did or Buddha did, we promote that. But what we do is we take it all together, and the prophet's giving us the essence because he's taking us back to Adam. He's taking us back to the original old-time religion that's stated in the chapter Brother Coleman just read, right? The first founders of the first religious creed, there was no Muhammad, there was none Buddha, there was no Confucius, there was no Jesus. He's taking us back. Brother Lovey used to say, Islam is handed down in degrees. Man, humanity, the race, is going through different cycle ages. And each age is a milestone in the journey of the race to do what? To get back to the original, what was given. So you gotta understand your prophet. You can't get it mixed up because you're gonna be out there mixing it all together, trying to act like you want to please everybody.
Islam.
I'm not here to please. I'm here to let them know about the last prophet in these days who said that you have to stand up and face the east and put up the seven of the seven spirits of Elohim, that you are now a high Sufi, way past those Muslims. You're wearing the fez on your head and the turban. The sisters, the only sisters on the planet that have a turban with a crescent and star right in the center. But if you look at some ancient pictures, you're going to find some ancient sisters with a turban and with a crescent. Not no Moorish American in our line, but showing up a crescent.
Islam, Grand Sheikh.
Islam.
Islam, can you hear me?
Islam, Brother Banshee. Yes, sir.
just speaking to the part on Ramadan, I have a quick question, and I know we're like late on time. And you know, the prophet makes a large statement, and I don't disagree with what you're saying. I almost see it as similarly to you know, when you're learning in elementary school, you learn addition, but as you're learning trigonometry later on, you're still using addition. It's a part of the foundation of trigonometry, you know, just basic addition and subtraction. So it's like you build on it, not necessarily. And I see Ramadan as the same, specifically if it's not in conflict with anything that the prophet taught, because some of the things like the prayer, the prophet taught us our prayer, so therefore, you know, the traditional salat prayer is superseded by what the prophet specifically taught us that supersedes the salat, right? But in the case of Ramadan, I'm wondering, and it brings me back to this point, and this is where I'm going to end my point, on our nationality card, where the prophet says, I do hereby declare that you are a Muslim under the divine laws of the Holy Quran of Mecca, and continues love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Me personally, I've always, you know, Ramadan, I know that's a very controversial topic, and in the history of the Moorish Science Temple of America, not all of the Moors see it the same way, but I don't know if I feel comfortable with outlawing it, you know what I mean? That's my point. Peace.
Islam.
That's a good point, Moore. And let me just say this, right?
How do you raise your hand to speak? I don't understand.
So hold on, Moore.
1 second, brother Knight,
Hold
I'll
on,
let
brother
you
Knight.
know.
Hold on, brother Knight. All right. So the brother brought up a very good point, right? So the thing is, we, just like I just said, we incorporate all, right? But remember what we're trying to build on, right? There's some people don't even recognize what Jesus did. There's some people recognize what Jesus did, but don't recognize what Muhammad did. Some people recognize what Muhammad did, but they don't recognize Prophet Noble Drawing. Right? We meet them all the time. Again, tell them they're going to come and tell me, they want to teach me true Islam. The Prophet said, do not let the foreign Muslims speak behind your rostrum. Okay? So we have to understand the context of what the Prophet's saying and what we're supposed to do. I'm in line with everything the Grand Sheikh said, but it's all building up to what the Prophet's saying. All right? So there's nothing wrong with you doing all the fundamentals that he said. If you're telling me that all you are is at a level you want to just deal with Jesus, you love Jesus, you join the temple with Jesus, and you want to focus on all the things that Jesus said and his practices and everything, I said, praise the Lord, Mo. What if we have a bunch of people come from Asia and they're strong into Buddha? Or some people in China, they're strong into Confucius. Every time a Korean class, boy, I say something about Confucius. I say something about, that's beautiful. And if you can follow all the meditation practices of Buddha and all the fasting of Muhammad and all the respect to the ancestors of Confucius and all the love of Jesus, then you're doing exactly what the prophet said. This is all of it together. This is not negating anything. This is bringing it all, tying it in, right? Tying in the Bible, tying in the Koran, tying in the Vedas and the Analects of Confucius. We're tying it all in. I'm not trying to negate anything. But as a Moorish American, we don't want to lose focus on our mission.
Islam.
All right? So I think Brother Nightingale and Brother Jordan, and we're out of time. Brother Nightingale, Islam all.
Islam, doctor. Chapter 43 on page 55, verse number 28. It says, the tender of heart is turned from their purpose by supplications. The proud is rendered more obstinate by entreaty. The sense of thy own insufficiency commandeth thee to hear, but to be just, thou must hear without thy passions. You see, and when we return the church and Christianity back, you know, the way that they go through when someone dies, you can tell how deeply ingrained the brother is been indoctrinated, because that prayer and that supplication, we're on a path that's teaching us to put our hand in Allah's hand, where we won't need no priest or no interceding. We will be able to understand our own still small voice. That's what the Sufi is about, making that connection, mending that broken wire. But if you want to get off course, that's on you. It's a personal thing. You know, the prophet made it real simple. He said, if you're trying to purify, just keep your bodies clean with water and your hearts pure with love. So all those other things that take up time, you don't know how much time you have in this mortal mad human drama. So the prophet is getting you ready so that you can go out and do the work and won't be getting offended and bent out of shape, because our people are really bent out of shape. When you get down and talk to them, you know, brother Moorish American, and he want to be Arab. And what are you gonna tell him? What are you gonna tell him?
One at a time.
All
Praise
right,
the Lord.
more peace.
Thank you so much, Brother Jordan.
Islam. Praise and honor is already given. I just wanted to say on the Ramadan topic that the prophet said, put your hands in Allah's hands and all will be well. And he also said that we don't need no priest to intercede. And we know that Muhammad never fasted for 30 days. He only fasted for 3 days at a time per month, 3 days a month. So that's why with the Ramadan situation, fasting is a pillar of Islam, but I guess that's why the prophet didn't subscribe Ramadan to us, because it's not what Prophet Muhammad did.
Praise the Lord. Listen, more praise Allah for all our portions of understanding. You know what I'm saying? That's what I appreciate about the Moorish Science of America. We can share our portions, you know, and then you have to be responsible for your portion, right? If you're speaking trigonometry and all high math to a kindergartner and they don't understand what you're talking about, then they're not responsible for that. They don't understand that. But when we're talking to each other and you understand, like what that voice is, I mean, when we talk about fasting, think about it. The real fast, the higher fast is the 40-day fast that Jesus did.
Oh,
right? If you want to look into it, they say that after Adam did what he did, that he stood in the river for 40 days praying to Allah. So the 40-day fast is another fast. All right. So you know, we're all about reaching that high purity and all of that. The 5 pillars of Islam that he mentioned, all of that is helping us. All of it's helping us to bring out the highest spirituality in us. But the thing is, we're not stopping. What you're seeing on the surface, what the surface Muslim is saying, what the surface Christian is saying, what the surface Buddhist and Sikh is saying, we're not saying that. We're saying something higher than that. We're talking about we are gods. And religion is just a vehicle that we take to be with our God one-on-one. So Islam and all these other religions is a vehicle we take. Fasting, Ramadan is a vehicle. And without the thought behind it, it's just something physical you're going through. It's a mental jihad. All right? It's a mental fast. If you're physically fasting and your mind is lusting and all negative, what kind of Ramadan is that? Wouldn't you be better with a pure mind, even though you're eating a little food here and there? I mean, the combination would be best to fast and have pure thoughts. But if you got to go for one, you want to go for the pure thoughts. You don't want to look at the outward person and try to make a judgment. But praise Allah, Moors, we're out of time. I'm going to turn the meeting over to our assistant Grand Sheikahs to read the warning. And I'm going to say peace and love. Peace.
Islam,
Islam.
I'm gonna read the warning if the Muftis can at post and stand at this time. January 15, 1929. Prophet warns all Muslims, governors ordered to read proclamation at each meeting. I hereby inform all members that they must end all radical, agitating speeches while at work, in their homes, or on the streets. We are for peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans. It causes confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be of severe consequence. We are for love, truth, peace, and freedom. And when these principles are violated, justice then must take its course. any member or group of members who hold malicious feelings toward the temple or the prophet, or violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement, will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the laws laid down to them by their prophet. If they lose confidence in their prophet, they should turn in their card, button, cease wearing their turban or fez, and return to the state where I, the prophet, found you. This is the holy and divine movement founded by the prophet, noble Drew Ali. And if the prophet is not right, the temple is not right. The prophet, therefore, is sending out the divine plea to all Moorish Americans that they do their part in protecting their prophet and the temple. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sins. By order of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Peace.
Peace.
Islam, at this time, I would like to call on our sister secretary, also as we just take up the public collection, public, local building fund, traveling fund, and uplifting. Thank you, Brother Treasurer. Islam, Sister Secretary, Sister J. Jornil, are there any announcements that you would like to give at this time?
Islam.
Islam.
First I rise and give praise.
You also have Cash App. I'm sorry, Sister, don't let us know. Excuse me. Can we turn her up? I don't know if we can hear her, really.
Islam, I'll turn this up. Hold on, let me see if I can adjust.
We're just gonna turn up the speaker. Brother Jordan, let's turn up the speaker now so we can.
Come on, speak.
Islam.
Islam.
1 second. Okay, I'm getting an echo on my end. Are you getting an echo too?
No, not at all. We hear you loud and clear.
Praise Allah. First I rise and give praise to Allah. I give high honor to our Prophet, Noble Drew Ali, whom we just celebrated his birthday. I give honor to everything that the acting chairman gave honors to, Brother K. Turner Bay at the beginning of the meeting gave honors to. So praise Allah. I'm going to just share my screen. So if you can see it, if you have problems seeing it, let me know.
Brother Peter, push your money down into your pocket when you're there. You go. You're welcome. I'm sorry, sis.
It's okay. I'm just going to make a few
You said you were
announcements.
sharing the screen.
And yep, just give me 1 second to turn off these notices. Praise Allah. And I'm going to share the screen in a second. Allah. Islam. Praise Allah. So as you see, we have our Cash App. If you cannot make it to Temple in person, you can make a donation or send your dues in to our Cash App to $MSTA 34. And we receive that immediately and we'll make notes in our files. Additionally, just a reminder that Friday is our holy day. Friday is the holy day for all Muslims all over the world. And our holy day is held on Friday at 7:30 p.m. to 10 o'clock p.m. And we held our meetings in person at Temple number 30, Moorish Science Temple number 34, 237-239 Hancock Street in Brooklyn. If you can't make it in person, then you can join us on Zoom. Then we have on Sundays, we have our Sunday schools, and that runs from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock. Same concept. If you cannot make it in person for whatever reason, we do have Zoom available. However, if you are able to make it in person, it's also just an amazing experience and preferred. Please join us on Thursday. Every Thursday, we have a weekly conference call. It is facilitated by our Grand Sheikh of Moorish Science Temple number 34, Brother W. Clendenin Bay. Oftentimes, you will also hear Brother El Serrano Bay, our assistant chairman, and also Sister Cecile's ill, as well as other Moors around the country moderating. And we have great time just talking, learning, and sharing. If you have questions, you can raise that questions about the Quran or more science. It's a good opportunity to hear responses from all the different Moors around the country. So you can join us in just dial in conference call and make sure to announce yourself so that we know that you participated. The next one is to let you know we have our Facebook pages. We have two. We have a public page and a private page. You can find out information going on as we know it. We share it there. We also have a Facebook chat. If you are on there, we like to update information. Again, as we know it, we'll post it there and share it. And if there's information that you would like to share or announcements that you'd like us to make, please don't hesitate to contact us. You can reach us at our email. We have the secretary has an email of mstasecretary34@gmail.com if you want announcements, birthdays, transitions, or just to have Islams that you'd like to send, and we can announce it there. Or if you need information or want to make any requests, feel free to do so. Also to our temple email, that's Moorish Science Temple no.34@gmail.com. Just a reminder that this week we will have our Chic training, our first training of 2024, and it'll be at 8:00 p.m. Previously, we announced it'll be at 9, but we have it at Islam.
Roku. Islam says it's just as Roku was pressed, but you can talk for the moment. They can still hear you.
Okay, praise Allah. So the Chic training is happening for members who are active members who are interested in participating and becoming and working towards becoming a Sheikh. This is what you want to participate in. It will be on Zoom. The information will be provided to you. If you are interested in this, please reach out to Brother W. Clendenin Bay. You can also send an email to our temple email just so we make sure we don't miss you. If this is something you're interested in pursuing, this is a good opportunity to ask questions, and also you will be asked questions as well. So just remember to Islam, Sister Michaela, please mute your phone. No one, thank you very much. Praise Allah. That being said, again, you can join us at 8 p.m. This Tuesday. She's got her hand up. Praise Allah. And you can contact our Grand Sheikh to let him know that you're interested. If you have any other questions, don't hesitate to let him know. The next announcement I have is about the Moorish New Year celebration. For those of you who are interested in attending temple in number 78 in Baltimore, temple number 79 and 71 are getting together to have a celebration. It will be from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. And they encourage Moorish costume. If you'd like to attend, please let your Grand Sheikh or one of us know, or any of the Sheikhs. And there are also multiple celebrations going on around the nation. Again, as I see them, and as the Sheikhs see them, we will post them to the Facebook chat to update the Moors. That being said, that is tomorrow, January 15th. That is our Moorish New Year. And so stay tuned for additional information for where you can tune into around the nation. With that, I think that was the last one. Yep, that's it. So with that, I say peace.
Peace.
Peace. Much gratitude, dear sister. Islam, we're having some technical difficulties on this end, so you're not able to actually see into. Hold on.
He's back.
Hold on. I'm gonna flip the camera. You're not gonna be looking. Let me just get that going.
I think it was.
It's a shortage?
No, it was out just a little bit. But when I pushed it in a little bit, just to make it was full centimeter.
Oh, great. So we can unspotlight once it connects. It just needs time to boot up. Is that what's going? It's all right. It's still being recorded by our secretary, Sheikah Sister Jordan Hill on the other end. Brother Steve Ferguson and our chairman, I'm still going to turn the meeting over to him. He made it in before secretary's time. You make it in before secretary time. It's actual a fact that you haven't missed the entire meeting. I want to give honors to our brother chairman for his commute, for his travel. Honors to his brother man, one of our brother men, if we understood the work that was put in throughout that time, and just that thought that he'll sail on smoother seas. Islam, brother chairman.
Islam.
Islam.
First, I rise and give praise to Allah and all to the Prophet, give honor to everything that our sister and grand she just gave honor to. Give honor to each and every one of you. Praise Allah. Brother Coleman is on.
Islam, brother Coleman.
Islam. Islam, brother Ferguson. Islam, you are the children of one father, provided for by his care, and the breast of one mother have given you suck. Let the bonds of affection therefore unite thee with thy brothers, that peace and happiness may dwell in our Father's house. And when you separate in the world, remember the relations that bonded you to love and unity, and prefer not a stranger before thy own blood. If thy brother's in adversity, assist him. If thy sister's in trouble, forsake her not. So shall the fortunes of thy father be contributed to support of his whole race, and his cares be continued all to your love to each other. Peace.
Try to slow down more, let them hear the words.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Don't rush. Don't rush. It's all about being at peace.
Islam. You have a hand by Sister Michaela Jordanelle.
Islam, Sister Michaela Jordanelle. Islam.
Islam, am I gonna be there?
Islam, Sister Michaela.
Go ahead.
Am I gonna be there?
You're on Zoom right now. You want to give the peace and loves?
I don't know how to.
You want to what?
Didn't know how to. You did it before. You remember you go Islam wars and then you say peace and love. Can you do that again? It's so amazing when you say it.
You want to say hi, peace and love?
Peace and love, Moors.
Praise Allah.
Thank you.
Praise
Praise Allah, Michaela.
Okay, sweet daughter.
Islam, Sister Cecilia.
Islam, I just wanted to make the comment with relation to Ramadan and just certain things related to those things. I think that there are a lot of things that could divide us as a people, right? And I think that the prophet, we have to lift our prophet up, right? And our prophet came for us living here, speaking our language, looking like us, relating to our struggle. And so this is not a disregard or a disrespect for any other prophet, but it's understanding that each prophet was sent to each specific nation with the struggles that they were having in that particular time. Our people had no problem with being on the floor. In fact, that was the condition for most of the time. Our people had no problem kneeling because that was the condition most of the time. They had no problem praying because they were being forced in many instances to adhere to those particular ways and teachings of prayer. And so when it comes to the understanding as to what the prophet brought us, he also instructed you to do as your soul dictates unto thee. And the end shall always be right. So now, when it comes down to the concept of fasting, there are different customs for different cultures. Some cultures had things literally available where you could just walk down the street and you pulling mangoes off your neighbor's tree and you're popping food in, going, story of Rapunzel where they jumped into the other person's garden and took the radishes or the cabbage or whatever it was. There were natural things available to us. So that concept of fasting, that was also a form of preventing war. And a set time for them to reflect based on the Islamic calendar year. Now, we would be now causing some of the confusion within ourselves. And when I say that, we have a Gregorian calendar year here in the United States of America. I'm not here to contest its accuracy, legitimacy. I'm just speaking to what we utilize when you go to work, you hold a job, you open up offices, you draft up a calendar and you want somebody to attend, you're using the Gregorian calendar, right? And so just with that understanding, the way that it fits into our teaching, that he went into the wilderness and with himself he taught. So there's a concept of how to do this particular fasting and cleansing, right? There's a process in how he's telling you on how to do it. Now, we can't necessarily qualify these things that have been preserved by others from these particular divine. Your mic is hot. I think the baby got your phone. It sounded like when Michaela used to hijack me. Praise Allah. But just that particular thought, right? If truth is but one, and you're studying about the truth, the unifying truth, the truth surrounding around love and character building, right? That not only raises your physical vibration as far as aspects of hormone levels and things like that, the way that you're thinking, the amount of endorphins that's in your body, the happy, the fight, the flight, there's different things that are released in your body that truly affect even the insects that will attract to you, right? Now, we're going and we're conforming to something that's done on a different calendar time. That's done with us with the understanding of the moon and its location with relation to this particular nation. And we're trying to implement things, and it goes back to, we may not be straying after the gods of Europe of whom we knew nothing, right? But if you're straying after customs and certain traditions, you now are straying from what was designed for you. And so I don't have a problem with any of the unified things. Just like I said with your family members have a Christmas dinner, I'm not telling you that if you don't, to go and buy yourself a tree and put lights on it, I'm not telling you that. But if that may be the last time you see grandma, auntie, uncle, that's what you may do. So if Ramadan is something for you that you consider a healthy time, or it's easier for you to fast at that time, fine, but don't let that be the only time that you use to reflect. Let that be a pattern that you're setting for yourself on constant reflection. So I think that that's also a difference. We're taught that we can do that at any point in time. Say not to yourself that you'll play the fool, you won't play the fool by halves. It's all right to go halfway and say, I'm stopping right here. I realize where I am falling short. So I just hope that when we look at all of these things that we may find that other people choose to do, that we can look for the love in it, the divinity in it, the saving power in it, and it takes finance to uplift the nation. So check where your money's going. And that was just those particular thoughts, Pete.
Brother Grand Sheik Cyrus L got his hand up.
Islam, brother Cyrus here. Grand Sheik.
Islam, Brother Chairman. Praise and honor is already given. I just wanted to just expound a little bit on, and thank you for that, Sister Silzil. This trial, actually, just so the Moors can be aware that, the Prophet set us up a certain way. And I want to make sure that we are focused on certain things that are actually occurring. So there's a big trial in The Hague, actually, that started last week, South Africa, between South Africa and Israel behind this conflict in Gaza. And the ramifications of it are pretty large, and they definitely echo to a lot of what the Prophet taught us, some of the things we were touching on today. So I just wanted to, I don't know where the Moors, and everyone probably can, probably should know where you can gather information, the outside information that you might not hear across the mainstream news, if you will. But look into that, pay attention. I think South Africa made opening arguments. I believe that was Thursday. I've never seen, I think the biggest court, so I say trial of the millennium, the biggest courts, trials I can remember seeing in the last 20, 30 years outside of like the end of world wars is like, Bill Clinton's trial, O.J. Simpson's trial, which was pretty huge, and or Donald Trump. We now have a president of the United States who's on several different trials. I've never seen anything like this before. Maybe it's just me. I've never seen a trial in The Hague, but on this scale, it's pretty interesting to see. They've got I think it's 9 to 12 judges, representatives and representative statesmen representing South Africa, and the same for Israel, arguing about what South Africa is charging Israel with genocide and war crimes. So I think we should be paying attention to that. That's what I just wanted to point out to the Moors and just kind of follow up a little bit. Peace.
Praise the Lord.
Praise
Thank
the
you.
Lord.
Thank you, Grant Sheep. This is the season.
That's fine. I was just gonna, just with that particular thought that he was sharing. Israel and Gaza, South Africa, that concept of them being accepted, the thing that was big about it is that they didn't think that the case would even make it on to any kind of a docket, to the court of justice. And so it was pulled into the court of justice as being something that's looked at. I don't know if anybody relates any of this to also what Nelson Mandela was pushing for during his particular point in time, some of the things that he was fighting for. So I think that when our former Grand Chief Brother Cyrus was speaking, that he's also connecting that to what's happening with us here today. So those different prophecies that the prophet Noble Drew Ali spoke about. And so I wouldn't necessarily even run past all of them here, because I think that some of those are benefits of membership, right? And it's not a matter of holding back information, but I want to make sure that certain things aren't offensive when stated in the public. And especially when the climates are high and things are going to be recorded, such as these, and they go into the institutions and the brothers in the institutions are looking at it, we still have to be mindful when we deliver certain thoughts and the feelings we deliver behind those thoughts and the things that it can do to those who may view it. But I definitely think that the Moors should stay abreast with their current event. And Brother Grand Chief, Brother Arthur, I know Sister E. German Bay was heavy on the news and keeping the Moors up with the current event. Could you maybe drop a couple of news outlets or maybe something that you think may be a good look through, or look at
Absolutely, and I see the Grand Sheik's hands up as well. I actually use, and one thing I will say really quickly, one of the things is this is really, really powerful seeing this is like the response of the world as this tragedy has been unfolding in the Holy Lands, and depending on how familiar you are with this whole thing, the Palestinians call it the Nakba. Prophet Noble Drew Ali talks about Palestine, but one of the symbolisms I will point out, there's just too many to go over. The ramifications are so, it's just so much that I just can't. But South Africa said that they felt connected at all times during their apartheid struggle. They connected with the Palestinians, so as they were able to throw off the apartheid government in South Africa. And they're looking now and they're seeing their partners like this, almost how they were calling it, going through what they're going through now. They could not stand by. The whole world has been standing by and watching. It's been 100 days of this tragedy going on in Palestine, where it's unprecedented because we've never seen a battle on video, but I don't think there's ever been a battle where they're pulling women and children out of out of the rubble. It's really troubling. But that part is, it resonates. South Africa did it because they're saying that we connect with them. We're out of it, but they're not. So we can't sit idle. But what I use is there's a channel called RT International. I used to watch Al Jazeera to get international news. I looked at BBC. BBC doesn't come through clear anymore. I used to watch CNN in the 90s. Used to give a broader perspective of international news, and it doesn't anymore. Al Jazeera doesn't anymore. The last channel that I found that you're able to actually hear a clear opposite side of the story, is it's a channel called RT International or RT Today. If you go to rt.com, you can find all of their they have daily news broadcasts that you can watch over the internet, and it gives it's provided me the outside view so I can kind of watch and see what's going on. And they're actually they're showing everything in terms of the Hague and all of the battles and whatnot. With that, I say peace.
Peace.
Grand Sheep, what's up again, back?
Yeah, it's I just want to add a little something to the conversation. I think you got to really take a good look at why South Africa. I know what the Grand Sheik said, and I know what they said, but fighting against apartheid. Those people still in South Africa, those Europeans still want apartheid, and those brothers and sisters are controlling the country. So you gotta really look deep and see there's something else there why South Africa is taking the lead on that. Now, there's a good brother, a political scientist. His name is Dr. Wilma Leon. Dr. Wilma Leon. And he gives a lot of different other perspectives about what's going on in different conflicts internationally. But we got it, there's a part where you have to You have to listen with the third eye, as they say. You know, you got to listen in between. So yeah, you know, if it was someone like, you know, Cuba or some other, when you say South Africa, right away I was like, South Africa, you know, because even though apartheid's over, that struggle is not over, and them brothers and sisters have not taken control of their country, which was colonialized hundreds of years ago. It's still a struggle. So why? And when you think about the different allies in the United States, and why is the United Nations sitting and not, how come they're not part of it? There's a lot of moving parts. But I think that if we look at the different news outlets like the Grand Sheik mentioned and other places, we can get a better picture of what's going on, including Russia and China, and take a look at our foreign policy. And if you never heard of it, you know, check out the Monroe Doctrine. Peace.
Yeah.
Peace.
Thank you, Grand Chief. Islam, give your attention to Secretary, Treasurer.
Islam.
Let's get today's report, financial report.
Islam, January 14th, 2024, finance received. Public collections, $29. Uplifting fund, $7. Traveling fund, $14. Local building fund, $4, for a grand total of 54. Today's attendance was 10 in temple and 17 on Zoom for a total of 27. Peace.
Hey. Islam,
Islam.
you heard the financial report. What's the will and pleasure of the Moors? Brother Alordil.
Islam, I move that the financial report be accepted with any necessary corrections if there be any.
Can I get a second? Islam, Brother Kim, tell me that.
Islam, my second.
It was moved by Brother Alordil, second by Brother K. Turner Yield. That the financial, turn it back? No.
Praise Allah.
That the financial report be accepted with necessary correction if there be any. You heard the motion, are you ready for the question?
Question.
All in favor of this motion, show by the way, Moses way vote. Praise the Lord. Secretary, note that the motion has been carried. Carried.
Praise Allah.
Praise Allah.
Thank you, Secretary. Thank you, Moses.
I'm not used to hearing that.
I'd like to thank everyone for the contribution physically, spiritually, and financially. I pray that we got something out of the Sunday school class because there's always something that you learn. And like I said, listen to the spirit of the words of the prophet because what it does, it allows us to stimulate and generate and make that soul take flight. That way you can, that's where they can go and retrieve and bring it back to you while you're resting, you know. Allah keeps something and you send some back. You know, if beyond the limit of the pole,
You'll have it.
so like I said, there's no limitation. Like I said, we got to start raising all the elements of the force within ourselves, connected. That probably talk with the will of man and the will of Allah are one. The resurrection is a fact. So we want to tune ourselves. Don't limit ourselves. The prophet said, all power in heaven and earth is mine. To you I give all power in heaven and earth. So he gave us everything it takes to save the nation. Take it and save yourself. That's the first key. You know, and this is because like the prophet says also, there's only one true and divine way that peace may be obtained. In these modern day and time, is love, true peace, freedom, and justice being taught universal, all nations and all lands. There's only one true and divine way. And also the prophet says, before the end of time, you're going to lose every evil spirit. So we want to make sure that it's a spiritual battle. That's the whole thing. It's a spiritual war. Brother was talking about when I came in, jihad. Not a physical fight, it's a spiritual fight. The fight of your lower self. See, that's what we're working on. The highest, more science Temple of America is the study of self and the working on self. Because you want to be able to be the God-man and the God-woman like self again. You are. And so praise the Lord that we staying on the battlefield. So praise the Lord that we've been consistent, keeping these doors open, because that's our charge. That's our charge. So we're going to continue to do what we need to do in terms of keeping these doors open and teaching our people, no matter where you're at. Let's plant good seeds. They may not be able to understand the language, but somewhere down the line they will. It's just like when I was growing up, elders was trying to tell me a lot of stuff and they didn't catch up to me until years after, oh man, this is what they was trying to tell me. It's because we was moving at a different plane. You know what I'm saying? But when you slow down and you start listening, people start coming in, then you make the connection. That's what I said. Just plant good seeds and let it germinate. Praise God. Anything else, AGS?
Islamic, just so you know, that there also, you can donate to the $MSTA 34. That's our cash app. So some of the returns of what you hear today won't be reflecting what was on our cash app for today that we may have also received.
Praise God. All right, well, don't forget your early prayer. We always say that over and over before you go out in the hedges and the highway. And put a thought, because thought is the cause of all. Put a thought about healing the world. Peace on earth, goodwill to men.
Islam.
Goodwill to men. Peace on earth, goodwill to men. Grand Sheep.
Yeah, is the secretary someone trying to use our email? I'm getting a Google number here.
Islam, it's not me.
Not myself either.
It's not. Okay, I'm sorry. All right, praise the Lord.
Brother Serrano Bank.
I'm not getting that one. Cool.
They didn't order us after 4 o'clock. They know this schedule.
Yeah, praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord.
All right, more. All rise, face to east. Feet at a 90-degree, 45 on each side. 5 fingers on the left, 2 on the right.
Father of the universe.
The
Father,
Father of universe.
Father of love.
Truth.
Truth.
Peace.
Peace.
Freedom.
Freedom.
And justice.
And justice.
Allah is my protector.
Allah is
My protector.
My guide.
My
My God.
And my salvation.
And
And my salvation.
By night.
By night.
And by day.
And by
And by day.
Whose holy prophet.
To his holy prophet.
You are Ali.
You are holy.
Amen.
Amen.
Don't forget more tomorrow's our Morris New Year.
Peace and love, Morris.
Morris New Year tomorrow. You hear, Brother Chairman. Praise Allah.
Yeah.
Morris New Year.
Say peace.
Peace and love.
Peace and love.
Say peace, peace.
Love Morris.
Peace and love. Say peace, Morris.
Brother, put the application in.
Say peace, Morris.
Adorable. Praise Allah. It's fun.
You blowing kisses at y'all.
All the kisses. Oh.
Islam, baby, Coleman House.
What? You should. What? I've been here two more since about 2014. How many times have you times you came out and praise Allah that you on this path of time. Wow. But I just need your memories better than mine. That's all right. There's nothing wrong with that. I appreciate a good memory. But it's good to see you. We hope to see you again really soon.
I know it. I come back more frequently. You know what I'm saying? Because every time I come,
Peace and love, Morris. Travel safe.
You was all there, brother. It's exactly that. And honestly, after 3 months, right? Even if you were a member, if you don't come and you're not making your regular meetings, you can lose your members. And so it's like the 3 months, it has to be a consistency. And so- That's what counts. You gotta do it, just little dictates and the end, she'll always be right.
Where you live at? You live in
I'm coming out. Next time, you right here? Okay. Yeah, we here, man.
So
Yeah.
I'll come, consistently.
And do you have even any of the Zoom information? So that's also. Hold on.
Yes, we have the business, the cards over there, remember with all the information?
Praise Allah. You know, I was
Yeah.
definitely about to give him the email to the temple.
Yeah,
And this is why brother treasurer, who was so kind to go out and get some really nice, cards, was able to remember. It doesn't matter. You were able to remember because you were on the card. You were on top of the card duty. Is it in?
It should be one on the table right here.
Do we need these empty boxes there, brothers? I'll be more than happy to throw them out.
Sister Seals here.
Islam?
Can you make sure Brother Jordan gets the box of fezzes? Take back home? It's in the closet?
Yeah, some
Yeah.
more, all right.
All right, brother chairman's on it too. He heard you.
He
Said, all
got
right. And these empty
Oh,
boxes,
yeah,
I'm looking for the card for you. Those empty boxes, do you need them?
where the cards
Because it's becoming a hoarder situation. There's about 2 empty ones there that's been there for.
Did you just call me a hoarder?
No, it's us, brother. It's our temple. It's not on your own.
Put them in the closet if you could squeeze them. I'll get them later.
Oh my goodness, you say keep them anyway. All right. Will do.
Cause you might want to maybe.
Brother Jordan said, well, all else fails, I have one in my bag.
I should.
Brother K. Turner Bay, do you know where the invite cards are? Up, Brother Mufti on the back door.
There we go.
It
Can
should
you
be
jot
right there where
down-
you sign in.
Can you jot down any of the Zoom info? Is it up there? I don't think it's up there. The Zoom login, just so, I know the brother say sometimes we have a hard time getting here.
Hey, what's up, man? Hey, what's up? Okay. Well, you know what? I'm take this with me whenever we can.
Yes.
One trick, I said, two.
Next person, I'm taking the charter. I think the case is back there.
'Cause
Yes, Brother Chairman?
I got a Zoom meeting at 7:00. I'm not
Do what
sure.
you gotta do, I need to, okay. You on the phone?
Uh,
Yeah, we'll leave this to you on the spot, your chair cover it.
This is great. It's like a nanny cam. Like a nanny cam, and you can see what's going on when you're not there.
Oh,
Okay, hold on.
what you say, Brother Chairman, Brother Grand Chief?
I said, this is like a nanny cam. I can see what's going on when I'm not there and listen to you.
So that means we need to cut off the nanny care. We enabling. That's all right. That's the only way to make sure that nobody's doing anything wrong to the baby.
Let me see what they what the outcome is, try to get over there. Yeah.
All right, so that's up.
Yeah, we're trying to.
Speaker, does the speaker now stay under here or has it been going back under the table? Let me take this off. I'm not cleaning up on that tape.
Yeah, I'm trying to get over there. Give me a second, yeah, Benjamin just called, he was on the other line. All right. All right.
I guess we just to stay on. I guess since Brother Smithdale's not there, y'all gonna leave the meeting going? We're having a second meeting now? What's going on?
After the meeting, if you like, I appreciate
Who's manning the computer? That's what I wanted.
Our brother Mufti is currently in the back manning the charter. So I'll go around and just click in meeting.
Bye. Peace.
Peace. How you doing, Barry?
I'm hanging in there. I just got pain in my side. I don't know what it is. Gas, I guess.